leave plenty of time for, okay, let me restart then, since we are recording. This is what I'm going to cover today in the Master of Science in Drug Development and Product Management. As I mentioned, my name is William Etouati. I'm the Managing Director for the program. We will cover all these things that you see here. Why should you do it? The features and benefits of what you will gain. We'll discuss a bit about the curriculum, who we are looking for, and then we will let you know about how to apply and in terms of logistics and admission process. Next slide, please. So the fundamental question is, why should you do this master over another one? I have a very simple answer. We created this master's for basically young professionals to advance or transform their career in the life science industry. And I will explain how many of our alumni have been able to do that. Next slide, please. So what are the key features of the program? First of all, it is a unique curriculum. If you look at programs out there, you will find that very few combine what we do, which is basically the science of drug development all the way through post-market utilization, meaning business. Another unique feature is that we use real-world practice case studies, both on the clinical side, on commercial side, to really make sure that you understand what is happening today in the real world rather than what was done 10 years ago. It's taught by pharma and biotech executives. We actually have a lot of pharmaceutical executives who teach in the program. For example, last year in one of my courses, I had 10 CEOs come and talk to the students. I have executives from marketing, market access. There's many executives from the biotech industry as well in all the other courses. It is an immersive full-time experience, even though it is in the evening, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday from 4 to 8 p.m., but it is a full-time program. One of the unique other features is the small class size. We like to keep the number of students between 30 to 35. This allows very high touch with the faculty and the ability to also network very closely with your classmates. We offer another feature, which is faculty career mentoring. So you will be assigned at the beginning of the program with a faculty mentor, which can be either from the DPM or actually guest speakers that we have had in the past who work in industry to help you create what we call the strategic and tactical career plan, which is again very specific. Finally, we are competitively priced, especially if you compare us to any of the private institutions. It takes 9 months to completion, so it means it's very intense. And another key feature is that we are based in San Diego, which is the third largest life science market in the US. Next slide, please. So you could ask, okay, well, these are all great features, but how does that translate into benefits and skills that I'm going to get? And I will go a little bit more as I cover the curriculum, but here are 7 things that I think you need to remember. Number 1, you are going to acquire hard skills in a lot of disciplines. And I've just listed here a few: clinical development, regulatory, marketing, but that's just a couple of them. You also will learn about pharmacoeconomics, you will learn about pharmaceutics, you will learn about diseases. So all these skills are what I call hard skills that are directly applicable to a plethora of career options. The second one, which is as important as the number 1, is the soft skills. You are going to learn a lot of analytical, strategic thinking, and innovative thinking. And when you're a manager, obviously you need to have hard skills, but you also need to have all these soft skills. And because you are going to be working and you are going to have a multicultural basically environment, you are going to have to think of how you collaborate with people with a different mindset, different cultural experience. Our class, as you will see later on, is very international. Our speakers are very international. So I have speakers from the UK, I have speakers from Europe. We have also speakers from Asia who come and talk to the students, because drug development and product management is an international is an international endeavor. The other one that you will learn is you will master competencies like teamwork. Sometimes you will have teams that are difficult to work with, but that's a way to grow. You will learn how to work with different people who have different perspectives. You will also be presenting a lot. You will be presenting projects. You will have to work, again, together with different groups of students. The students group change every quarter. You will also become proficient in solving specific problems through case studies, and I can't emphasize that enough. This is one of the very unique features where you will learn how to analyze complex problems and come up with solutions. Another feature is a networking possibility. And when I say with over 100 pharma and biotech exec, I mean it. This is not just a number we put up there. We now have probably over 70 of our alum who are in different pharma and biotech executive. But in addition to that, with the countless number of guest speakers that come and teach in the program, that is a tremendous networking opportunity. Many of our student alum have actually got jobs from guest speakers who had positions offered and continue to do that. And finally, through all these benefits and through these acquisitions and feature, you will be able to transform your career trajectory in different areas. Next slide, please. So I know I threw a lot of things at you right now, but how are you going to acquire these skills? There's two key components. The curriculum, the faculty, actually there should be adding a third one, which is your classmates, because these are going to be absolutely essential. So let's start with the curriculum. So in Q1, we have 4 courses, and I'm going to go through them quickly because you have all of that on the website. And Cynthia is very fluent in the program since she attended many of the courses herself to become a lot more familiar. So if you have any questions, of course, contact Cynthia. So the first one is opportunity in pharma and biotech, and I should say also ethics. In this course, you're going to do something that is fundamental, that is a strategic and tactical career plan. You are going to be paired with a faculty mentor or an industry mentor, and you are going to do case study analysis on ethical considerations in the pharmaceutical and biotech industry. So this is an introductory course, which I am actually the chair. The next course is pharmacotherapy and disease, that is taught by Dr. Andrew Williford. And in this course, for some of you, it will be a refresher. For some of you, it will be very new. You will learn about pharmacotherapy in the drug development process. You will learn about key therapeutic areas to understand basically these diseases and how to apply basically drug development to create new therapies to treat specific diseases. The other course that we teach here is taught by Dr. Williford is actually a faculty at the School of Pharmacy. The course in pharmaceutics and small molecule and macromolecule is a course that is taught by Dr. Chantal Reed. She's a bioengineer PhD. She works in a biotech company, and she is an expert in pharmaceutics. In that course, you're going to work in reverse engineering project of a pharmaceutical compound. So you actually will be doing formulation for a compound. You will learn about the importance of having basically a strong formulation expertise, because if you have a drug, let's say you have a small molecule and it is insoluble in water, well, it's not going to become a drug. So you're going to have to come up with ideas on how to create a formulation so that it can become a drug. And you will also learn both small molecules and macromolecules, which, as we all know, are much more different. The last course in this quarter is in preclinical and clinical regulatory strategy. This course is taught by Dr. Momper. Dr. Momper spent a couple of years at the FDA. He will have many guest speakers who will talk to you about IND, initial new drug application. He will talk to you about new drug application NDAs, that these are in the US. He will also talk to you about drug application in the European Union, EMA, and in Japan as well. Again, he has many guest speakers that come and talk to you about the entire process. of not just regulatory filings, but also when you go and commercialize drugs, regulatory strategy becomes extremely important as well. So that's in Q1. Q1 is usually easier from what I hear from my alum and from my students. And the reason for that is because for many of you who have a science background, there's a number of courses on the science side. Q3 is also very exciting because you're going to learn a lot of new things as well. So let's talk about clinical development. Clinical development is taught by 3 faculty. Dr. Ma is the lead faculty, and he has 2 co-chair who are from Pfizer, who are both senior director at Pfizer in clinical development. In that course, you are going to understand the process of drug development through case studies. More importantly, you are going to learn how to write a clinical protocol. So if you want to transform your career to go from the lab into clinical trial, this is doable. This is one course that is going to be fundamental for you to understand really well, in addition to what I just told you earlier on. You will understand the connections between early stage development, regulatory and commercial, and the impacts that they have. Next one, please. Health outcome evidence. That is a course that is usually completely foreign to most of you. In this course, Dr. Raphael Cuomo, who is a faculty at the School of Medicine and also teach in DDPM, is going to work with you in really understanding the application of value evidence data throughout the clinical development process. He's also going to describe methodology and modeling methodology that are used throughout basically marketing, even though we will cover that a lot more in the principle of marketing. But you will be able to learn and apply statistical methods and statistical analysis to basically a health outcome. This links really well with the last course in this quarter, which is Principles of Marketing, Product Value, and Lifecycle Management. I have a co-chair. I actually lead this course with Dr. Dilesh Doshi. Dr. Doshi is Vice President of Pharmacoeconomics. And here is where, for those of you who are entertaining to do an MBA versus our program, here is where, with the other courses, of course, you are going to get serious skills if you want to go into product management, meaning if you want to go on the commercial side. In this course, you will develop an entire drug marketing plan, including primary market research, including forecasting, including pricing, including pharmacoeconomics. No business schools are going to teach you what we teach you in those principles of marketing in terms of pharmacoeconomics, because it is completely geared towards the biotech and pharmaceutical industry. This course will be helpful for you if you, again, as I said, want to do a career in the pharma world, in the commercial side. And we have many alum that actually have landed there. Next slide, please. Q3 is also a tough course for many of you, again, because there are a number of things that you're going to learn that you don't know about. So the first one is biologics and biosimilar drug development. It is much broader than that. In this course, again, Dr. Ma has 2 co-chair, Dr. Van Casterly, who is also a faculty and actually is CEO of a biotech company, and Dr. Hubert Chen, who is now president and chief medical officer for a biotech company. In this course, you're going to learn about biologics and biosimilar, how they are developed and commercialized. I actually also teach in this course as a guest lecturer. You will learn how the process differs from small molecule. And we felt it was really important to have a very specific course on novel modalities of treatments that are biologics and biosimilar. You will also understand how novel therapies such as cell therapy, gene therapy, RNA therapy, and others become really important and are changing the pharmaceutical landscape. Again, in this course, like all others, you will have many guest speakers from industries who are practitioners in all of these areas. Next one, please. The second course is Managed Market, Post-Market Utilization, and Project Management. This course has two co-chairs, Dr. Nikki Nogal and Miss Anne Petrie, who is an MBA. Dr. Nogal is also actually a bioengineer, a PhD, who is involved in operations and project management. In there, you will do specific project management application for the life science sector. Project management differs from product management. Project management can be done in research, can be done in drug development, can be done in marketing. Product management that I talked about previously is a marketing function. In this course, you will also do simulations and case studies. The other component of this course is understanding market access and managed care. And with what is happening today, especially not just the Affordable Care Act, but also a number of changes that are happening in the industry, understanding how to get formulary management in the US, which is a very fragmented segment of the US market, is absolutely fundamental. Understanding how to get reimbursement in Europe and pricing, even though you can get pan-European approval, you still need to negotiate pricing and reimbursement on a country-by-country basis. So this course will also help you understand all of that. And the final course, which I co-lead with two counsel. One is an IP counsel, Alper Ertas, who actually works at Thermo Fisher. The other one, Bardia Moayedi, who will teach you corporate law. In this course, it's kind of a seminal course. Some students have told me that is also a very difficult course because here you're going to learn a lot of new things. You're going to learn how to start a life science company. Last night, I had a CEO talk to the students about how he has started a couple of companies already and what was difficult for him. You will learn how to put together an entire investor presentation that is going to be fundamental. You will learn how to search the patent office. You will learn how to incorporate, should you be an S Corp or a C Corp. You will learn how to evaluate deals in terms of doing financial modeling. You will learn about income statement, balance sheet, cash flow. And more importantly, you will learn if later on, like some of our alum who are now CEOs and started their own companies, how to become an entrepreneur and start your biotech company. So next slide, please. So another way that you're going to acquire these skills, besides all the didactic and the case studies where you will present and you will analyze, is the networking. Next slide, please. I can't be more proud of DDPM and what we have achieved over the past 6 years. All these companies' logos that you see here are logos of students who are, or alum, who are currently working with these companies. We have many more because of all the guest speakers that we have. So one of the unique attributes of such a young program such as ours is that when you are looking for positions, I created an alumni group, which I would say 99% of our alum and students are part of. It is a great way to network, to ask alum and students, hey, can you tell me about your company? What do you think? I saw a job in this in your company. Would you be willing to send my CV to the hiring manager? This is very, very powerful. Again, we have a very close, tight network. We have now about 130 alum, and this makes it a very unique feature for students to really look for position. I am not saying that our alum are going to get you a job, but what I'm saying is that they are going to be able to help you to better understand the organizations for which they work for, and if you are interested, may be willing to forward your CV to the hiring manager once you find a position within these companies. Next slide, please. So who are we looking for? We are looking for basically professional working in the life science industry. And I want to be very clear. You need to have at least 1 year of life science work experience. our students range from 1 year all the way to 20 years of work experience. In order to gain the benefit of all the things I told you about, is that you need to really have been able to be in the workforce. Otherwise, you do not understand what it means to work in life science. Most of our students have an undergraduate degree in science, chemistry, biology, pharmacology, pharmaceutics, engineering. We have also PharmDs, MDs, and MBAs, and other advanced degrees. Actually, we had a PhD student last year. And our students are both domestic and international. Next slide, please. This is countries represented in DPM cohort since last year. As you can see, we have students from around the world. I think from what I saw on the data, I think it's about 50% are international, 50% are domestic, but it changes per year. Some cohort, we have more international students, some cohort, we have more domestic students. Again, we really want students from everywhere who have a strong interest in the drug development process, because this is an international endeavor. Next slide, please. So which kind of career opportunities will you be able to have? And I love these slides, even though it's very busy. Next slide, please. Here are examples, and yesterday I was going through a spreadsheet that Cynthia had put together that looks and tracks titles of our alum. As you can see, and this is just, as I said, only a few of them, many titles in clinical development, okay, from director to manager, both in, let's say, formulations, or in clinical trial associate, clinical trial manager, in diagnostics, in therapeutics. We also have, believe it or not, a lot of students who had zero experience, and I want to say this very clearly, zero experience on the commercial side, and now they are global market development manager, which means they are launching drugs across the world. They are global product manager, they are international product manager, they are in sales, in the sales force, because that's what they wanted to do. They are in market research, in operations. And other titles, which is also very interesting, again, in areas where students had zero experience. They are in business development. I told you a couple of them are now CEOs of their own biotech company, raising capital. One of them is a managing director. Others are in medical publication. So again, many alum, many different titles that are really what our alum are doing today. One other thing that I'm very proud to announce also is that 99.7%, this is numbers that was given to me by our colleagues at Extension, of our alum report career advancement. That to me is why this program exists. And with that, I'm done talking, and I will turn it over to Zela, who is an alum from DDPM.
Hi, everyone. So I had the pleasure of being a student in this course, not this current year, but the previous year. I'm still at the same company that I was working in, but I have advanced significantly. I was at more of an individual contributor level, and now I'm managing a team of 14 direct reports. My position prior was meant to be only internally facing within operations. I just had lunch with our COO and CEO yesterday, actually at the AACR conference. And so I'm now in a position where I'm working with the product managers to help sell services, help gauge feasibility for our site. So while I'm on the preclinical side of operations, this course was really helpful in giving me insight into what the rest of the industry was working on. In my case, I actually learned that clinical was probably not where I wanted to end up, but I also learned that there was going to be a need for professionals like me that could help bridge that translational gap from preclinical through the IND phase into the clinic. And furthermore, people in that position who could understand the science and have some business acumen to actually help connect the MBAs to the PhD scientists. These are the people that I help. And so this course was incredibly helpful. The alumni network has been wonderful. You will learn just as much, if not more, from your fellow students as you will from the faculty and from the guest lecturers. You'll learn a lot about probably things that you'd never heard of before, things that you don't want to do, which is really useful, especially if you're trying to get an idea of where you want to go in the industry. You're also going to learn a lot about different options. This is a space, biotech in pharmaceutics that's constantly evolving. If you haven't been paying attention to the news for the past 2 years, you're already out of date. And San Diego in particular has a very rich startup community. You're going to learn more about how kind of that market churns, how big pharma and biotech help communicate, how academia plays into this. It's a really rich network that you'll kind of get to see how it all comes together. So this was a very valuable program for me. I was one of those students that was trying to avoid having to get an MBA. Coming from the science background, knowing that I needed some business acumen to be able to be better at my job, wanting to know how the commercial side worked, didn't know how to read a P&L, didn't understand what marketing was, didn't understand what product management was, thought I knew what project management was. I can say that I'm significantly more prepared now than I was at the start of the program. I understand more about what I want for my own career. I was fortunate to have Dr. E as my mentor. And so he really challenged me to think about things in a different perspective, but that's one of the values. This is a program where you will get out what you put in. This is not like undergrad where you can be distracted during class working on other things. If you show up, you need to be present. That's where you're going to get the most out of it. So it's exhausting. It's totally worth it. Yes, so that's my couple cents.
And I can take over real quick just for the quick administrative and logistics details for the course. I'm pretty sure most of you have already visited our website. If not, then please do so. There is detailed information about financial options, how to apply for merit scholarships, so on and so forth. But overall, the program will cost you about $35,000. It's a bit of a round up number. It's just I think a few dollars or like 50 some dollars less. And this would include your per unit tuition fees every quarter. And added to that, there are campus, UC-based campus fees, registration fees also that are payable to the university. The courses are scheduled 4 to 8 p.m. Tuesday through Thursdays on campus in the Skeg School of Pharmacy building. A small number of the lectures might occur remotely, but the majority of the classes are in person at this location. Next slide, please. And the admissions process, again, it's all spelled out nicely with requirements and also button to our application, graduate application on our web pages, multiple pages, landing page, prospective applicants. So please be sure to visit the website. Like Dr. Atuari said, you should have at least a year, if not two, relevant work experience in the life sciences industry, as this is a professional advanced program. Also, you have to have a minimum of a bachelor's degree, and that has to have a minimum of 3.0 GPA. If you do have an advanced degree, but you don't have like a 3.0 in your bachelor's, but you do in the master's or graduate degree, that will be actually qualifying. Now, you will need to upload a resume or a CV and 3 recommendation letters from your employer, preferably a statement of purpose. We ask you to kind of limit that to about 500 words. It doesn't have to be super long. 500 words is about like a page and a half. And then we also have some guidance on our website, what you should include in the statement. Those of you who are eligible domestic students and apply for a merit scholarship, you will also have a place there to upload an essay for that on the application. For international students, TOEFL or IELTS proficiency scores are required. TOEFL is, I believe, currently 85 and IELTS is 7. There are no other language examinations that are accepted by UCSD except TOEFL and IELTS. If the language of instruction at the university or in the country where the international student is coming from is English, then this requirement is waived. And then again, work experience is important and you will be required to pay an application fee. I believe it's around $130. As a next step, the admissions committee will review the comprehensive complete application packets and will make a decision whether or not you will advance into the next phase, which would be an interview conducted via Zoom with the admissions committee faculty. And then if they decide that your application is nominated for admission, then you will get correspondence from our program staff on the process, but you would have to accept the admissions offer. And upon acceptance, there's going to be an enrollment deposit. We require $1,000 enrollment deposit to secure your place, which will be then applied towards your fall tuition fees. And of course, there are financial aid options through campus and also through the program. Like I mentioned, there's a merit-based scholarship that's awarded to a select number of students. Unfortunately, currently only domestic students are able to apply because of taxation issues. And this will require, as I mentioned, an essay submission along with your application through the graduate online application portal. There's also private and graduate loans available through the campus financial aid office for the matriculated students. So these are UC approved lenders, generally Grant Plus loans, not federally supported ones. So once you're accepted, you will have the resources to inquire about loans. And many of the students also receive support from their employers or some other sources, government funding, family, or private sources. So our staff also can assist with setting up third-party payments. And the application deadline, as you all know, is July 17th. However, we do encourage everybody to apply before June. This is a competitive program. The spots are filling up quickly, and we conduct rolling admission. So as the applications come in, the admissions committee reviews them and makes a decision on next steps within a week or two latest, but generally more like a week. So please, if you're eligible, make sure you submit your application before June. Don't wait until the last minute. And there's our email and website. So feel free to send us an email or visit the website or just email us directly if you have any questions. And it looks like we might have something in the chat.
Yeah, I think you responded to that.
Yeah, I
already.
answered it.
Yeah. Well, thank you, everyone. Thank you, Zila, Christina, Cynthia. Now we'd like to turn it over to our prospective students. Anusha, please go ahead.
Hi, thank you for the informative session. I just wanted to check if this is eligible for OPT after the course